Hi, Joe Alton MD here, also known as Dr. Bones of the survival website doomandbloom.net, co-author of the Book Excellence Award-winning 4th edition of the Survival Medicine Handbook, and designer of quality medical kits at store.doomandbloom.net. Recently, Central Texas was the site of dangerous rainstorms which caused the Guadalupe River to rise an incredible 26 feet in 45 minutes, causing widespread devastation and at least 134 deaths, which dozens, unfortunately, remain still missing. Other areas of the country, from New Jersey to South Florida, have been under weather advisories as well. When water submerges land, which is normally dry, you've got a flood on your hands. Flooding is one of the most common natural disasters that affect U.S. citizens. About 20 are reported annually, with at least, when I say reported annually, I mean major ones, with at least one a year that causes more than $1 billion in damage to buildings and infrastructure, not to mention loss of life. Some flooding slowly develops over time, while others, like the one in Texas, can become dangerous very quickly and affect downhill areas, where it's not even raining. One thing is sure, unless you live on a mountaintop, you're eligible to be a victim of a flood. The family medic who prepares for flood events can prevent injuries and illnesses with a plan of action. Issues which cost lives include the inability to access flooded areas by emergency medical services, as happened in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina in 2005. Even when accessible, casualties often outnumber resources, so it's good to know about this stuff. So how can you and yours survive a catastrophic flood? Most people have heard of tornado and hurricane warnings and watches, but the U.S. Weather Service actually also tries to warn the populace of flooding. For example, a flash flood watch means that flash flooding is possible in the near future. A flash flood warning means that flooding is imminent or already occurring in the area. In Texas, unfortunately, the flash flood warnings occurred before dawn, taking many by surprise. To make it safely through a flood, you should pay attention to flood alerts as they are announced. If you live in a low-lying area, especially near a dam or river, you should heed warnings when they're given and be prepared to evacuate quickly. Timing is important. Make sure that the decision to leave for higher ground occurs before the flooding occurs and the roads are blocked. Rising floodwaters could easily trap people in their home. You don't want to be the person that has to perch on their roof waiting for help. Having a weather radio will keep you up to date on the latest advisories. Now, don't drive through flooded areas. Strange that I might say that because I just told you to, but roads and bridges could easily be washed out if you wait too long to leave the area. In a flood, many people drown in their cars as they stall out in moving water. Average-sized vehicles can be carried away by water less than 2 feet deep, as a matter of fact. In one recent event, 130 people required rescue from partially submerged cars. Try to plan a high road route to safety before a flood occurs. As well, be careful walking through floodwaters. Rapidly moving water can knock you off your feet even if it's less than a foot deep. Even calm floodwaters are problematic. They're often murky and hide debris that can cause injuries if you walk through them. Wounds exposed to contaminated floodwater are more likely to become seriously infected, so you have to be sure to wash these wounds immediately with clean, drinkable water, cover with dry, sterile dressings, and change dressings twice daily. Avoid drinking flood water too. That's also important. It's not clean. It's contaminated by debris, and water treatment plants may have been compromised by the disaster. As a result, waterborne illness such as cholera may run rampant unless the water is disinfected. Have a reliable way to purify water and a good supply of clean water stored away. If bottled water isn't an option, 8 drops of 6% household bleach will sterilize a gallon of water, or maybe a third of a teaspoon for 4 gallons if you want to do that. But you have to add twice the amount if the water is cloudy. Remember that a filter may also be needed to eliminate debris. Always wait 30 minutes when adding bleach before drinking to let it work its magic. Now, you want to also have general supplies handy. Floodwaters may not recede quickly, and so besides water, you need to have non-perishable food, heat and light sources, batteries, tools, extra clothing, a medical kit, a cell phone, and a weather radio among your supplies. Don't forget extra prescription medicines if you need them. You also have to beware of down power lines. Electrical current is easily conducted through water, so beware of any power lines that are near and seem to be disconnected from their moorings. You don't have to physically touch the down line to be electrocuted. Only step in the highly conductive water nearby. There are numerous instances of multiple electrocutions occurring as a result of rescuers jumping into the water to try to save victims of a shock. Now, you never want to touch somebody who's been electrocuted without shutting off the power source. Rescue is difficult to say the least. You got to use a dry non-metal object, such as let's say a wooden broom handle or a rope, to move the victim. Be aware that although dry wood may not be conductive of electricity, wet wood conducts it pretty well and can kill you. You want to turn off the power. Now, if you have reason to believe that water is going to get into your home, turn off the electricity before the flooding starts. If the water reaches the level of the electric current and the electric outlets, you can easily get electrocuted. Some warning signs might be sparks or strange sounds like crackling, popping, or buzzing. Beware of intruders and pests. Animals that have been flooded out of their homes may seek shelter in yours. Mosquitoes and the diseases they carry will also be on the rise as floodwaters increase potential breeding grounds. You want to use insect repellent, hang mosquito netting, or stay inside air-conditioned buildings if possible. Maybe snakes, raccoons, and other refugees decided your residence is now their territory. We also have to worry about human intruders as well. They may be interested to see what valuables you left behind. You also have to watch your step in your home after a flood. You have to watch where you're going because there's likely debris everywhere. The floors may also be covered in mud, causing a slip and fall hazard. You want to check for gas leaks as well. Don't use candles, lanterns, stoves, or lighters unless you're sure that the gas has been turned off and the area is well ventilated. You'll also need to avoid exhaust fumes. Only use generators, camping stoves, or charcoal grills outside and away from entrances into the house. Their fumes can be deadly. You want to clean out saturated items completely. If cans of food get wet in the flood, their surfaces may be covered with mud or otherwise contaminated. Thoroughly wash food containers, utensils, and personal items before using, and don't use appliances or motors that have gotten wet unless they have completely dried. You might actually have to take some apart to clean the debris out. Mold is going to be an issue as well after the water recedes. Remove all materials susceptible to mold growth as soon as possible. For things that can't be removed, clean with a 10% bleach solution. Also, you want to use waterproof containers for a lot of important items. You should protect food, personal items, important documents, and more with your waterproof containers. This is Joe Alton, MD, that old Dr. Bones, wishing you the best of health in good times or bad. Thanks for watching.
Hi, Nurse Amy here. Just wanted to remind you guys not to forget to visit store.doomandbloom.net for all your holiday shopping, gifts for birthdays, Mother's Day, Father's Day, any day actually. If you want to help somebody survive a first aid issue, make sure you go to store.doomandbloom.net.